Good morning to Joe and Jillian. I'm doing well. How are you guys doing today?
Good morning, Bunny. We're just getting caffeinated, or I am anyway, on the West
Well,
Coast.
listen, yeah, you need it. You need it, especially to talk about this fantastic series. Joe, I want to start with you because obviously you are no stranger to tackling tough things, I have to say. I don't even know how you got through some of them. But this one, wow. How did you hook up with Jillian and what really intrigued you to decide to make this into this series?
Yeah. Um, Jillian wrote an article in New York Magazine a couple of years ago. It was a preview of her book that she was about to write about her experiences with Little. And it was just, I was gripped by the article, this idea that somebody like Jillian, who herself is a survivor of domestic violence and was herself nearly strangled to death. The fact that somebody like that can walk in with the courage that it must take to get a serial killer who at that point was in prison in Los Angeles for just 3 murders and was denying those murders. He was claiming he was wrongfully convicted. Um, to get this guy to talk and start confessing and to watch Jillian, to start to feed information like that to law enforcement. I just thought so that crimes could be solved, cold cases could be solved. I just thought it was a fascinating window into the problem we have in this country with very unequal treatment of victims. Victims from marginalized communities, women of color, people who are sex workers, people with addiction issues, transgender. Uh, we don't treat these victims with the same respect as other kinds of victims. And as a result, we see how this created a guy who felt he could kill with impunity for 4 decades, resulting in America's most prolific serial killer.
Yeah, yeah. And Jillian, which leads me to my question. What were you thinking?
I ask myself that daily. I was thinking what the answer is. I was thinking I can get this guy to talk. Maybe I can try. Um, it's I am a good listener, and I am confident in my interviews, and I knew that I was walking in there as a survivor of domestic violence and sexual assault, and so that there was an extra piece of motivation there for me to get him to open up and what I hoped and suspected would be a story about many more victims, and that is what it turned out to be.
Yeah, and just going through this whole process, and has it been a cathartic experience for you? What has it been like?
No, it's not been cathartic. It has been, yeah. I'm not sure. I think catharsis is a word like closure. Um, that they're nice ideas, but really, that healing's a process that is a lifelong process, as is curiosity, as is journalism and writing, and that I think that I will be facing the demon of Sam Little for a long time.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
though
sure
he
you
is
will.
though he's
Yeah.
been though he's been dead for months now.
Yeah, I know, but still, like, I don't know. Listen, this is why I chose entertainment journalism. I commend you because there's no way I could have done what you do, what you did, and what you do. So thank you for that. But Joe, I want to ask you, going through this process and putting the series together, what ultimately surprised you about Jillian?
Well, I was impressed with the courage and strength she displayed in the writing of the article, and so I knew she was a strong person going into it. But that strength continued to manifest itself and impress me because there was a lot of psychological cat and mouse that you see in the show. You know, he you know, was you know, psychologically undermining Jillian or attempting to do so, and Jillian stood her ground. And I think it, you know, her dedication to this story, despite the psychological toll that it was having, you know, impressed me deeply. I did not think when we started the project there would be such precarious interaction between the two. So there was a while there I was a little worried about the impact this would have on Jillian. But she did an amazing job of, you know, doing what she said she was going to do. And yeah, so I was just very impressed with her strength.
Yeah, Jillian, just to wrap it up, you know, why do we like watching these types of series? Why do people, do they feel like a sense of relief, or like, what is it about these types of crime series that people are drawn to?
Well, I can't speak to people in general. I can speak for myself as somebody who has always been drawn to this genre, and that it makes me feel less alone. They are inherently stories with very high stakes, and I've always been interested in deviant behavior and in the shadowy parts that we all have. And these are very extreme stories, and particularly Samuel Little's story. But I do think that it shines a light on something far more common, which is violence against women. That happens every day.
Well, listen, kudos to the two of you for bringing this to the forefront. Really, I honestly, like I said, I don't know how you got through it, but thank you for doing it. I'm speaking to you from Canada. We are getting the series at the same time as you guys have it in the States, and I'm so happy that we're carrying it. So thank you so much for this, and thank you for your time this morning. I appreciate it.